Welcome back to Our Senate Culture. I am Matt.
Jason.
Andrew.
And we have brought our good friend Corge Glooney from Liquor Barn on to introduce us to the world of tequila with Liquor Barn's barrel pick of Maestro Dobel Diamante.
I think it's a Kia car, isn't it? Kia Diamante.
It really is.
I know.
You only know if you're the tequila
Yeah.
maestro.
Yeah, that's very true.
And then if you do not Photoshop George Clooney's like facial, like a mustache on Andrew, I'm gonna be pissed.
When the camera
Gray
switches
hair.
to you,
I want all
I'm just
that.
gonna put his fucking head on your
Oh, that's
torso.
fair, that's
yeah,
fair, that's
you're gonna
fair.
get so many
Yeah.
chicks after this episode, dude.
George Clooney's gonna get a lawsuit for wearing the Four Roses shirts.
but they're all
tequila.
gonna be like married ladies in their 50s.
Hey, it's
I'm
okay.
just warning
He
you.
only had tequila, not bourbon. If he had another whiskey, they'd be like, "Oh, lawsuit."
Lawsuit.
They were
Yeah.
at that party you went to.
You
right?
went. You have 5+ points of your wax strip. Sued.
Maker's call, motherfucker. Pay up. Pay up.
How long is your drip on there? We have not done a tequila episode. I love doing Till now, I love doing the not eclectic liquors, but like I love branching out and doing other things.
Yeah, I mean, we traditionally stay bourbon and beer, right?
Yeah,
I mean, traditionally.
But we've done rum, we've done absinthe, we've
Yeah.
done apple
we did
brandy,
barrel aged rum, store pick rum.
Yeah, not good. I don't know what store that came from, but but this one right here, our good friend Andrew had brought this over. And
let him tell us about it.
yeah, why don't you tell us about this Maestro Dobel Diamante?
Well, first off, it's a great box, great presentation.
Fucking fantastic, 100% agave. So
They
I don't know
really
shit
go
about
out.
tequila, and I've been wanting to do a tequila episode, so I'm really glad that you brought this over. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give us some background on this shit.
So Maestro Dobel was the first tequila distillery to actually do a Cristalino process. So for a Cristalino tequila, what they do is they actually put it through charcoal filtration, which will then pull the impurities out of the tequila, but it also reverts it back to the original base color of being clear. So even though you have like a Reposado or an Añejo tequila, it now is clear in color, just like your Blanco or Plata tequilas would be.
And explain just real quick the Reposado, Blanco, Añejo. These are like basically different terms of barrel aging, correct?
Correct. So even though you would think automatically that a Blanco cannot be barrel aged, that it's just the base pure
Clear,
tequila
right? Yeah.
Right.
that comes directly off the still, that's actually got a little bit of like falseness to
misnomer,
it.
yeah.
So it can be aged up to 2 months. So you've got
Interesting.
distilleries like Herradura that they do age their Blanco.
How'd you pronounce that?
Herradura.
Okay, you said that really fast, like
You gotta roll the eyes.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So they actually age their Blanco up to 2 months.
Okay.
But anything over 2 months would no longer be able to classify as a Blanco. Or
What would
a
it
Plata
classify
spirit.
then?
Oddly enough, between 2 and 3 months, there's kind of a gray area. No
Oh.
classification for that.
Really? I did not know that. So wait a minute. So can you like, can they make up whatever they want, or do they have to call it a Blanco or an Añejo or something? Do they have to call it something that?
I don't know if anybody's
You're fucking kidding me.
maybe.
That's
Did
our
you
niche.
not?
That's our niche, man.
You
We
just
got this.
discovered a tequila loophole.
Boom. 2
You're
to 3
kidding
months.
me.
We're going to
My
use
2.5
charcoal filtering.
month old.
Yeah.
But we're going to use Kingsford charcoal filtering.
Straight out the bag.
We
Yeah,
got this
hell
shit.
yeah.
It's Eastern Kentucky, baby.
Oh,
we
fuck.
in. We in.
That's fucking crazy. So I didn't know that. That's actually a very interesting. tidbit.
Yeah, I just never really, at least myself, looked into
Yeah,
that. But
okay.
up to 2 months
Okay.
is, where your Blanco can still classify.
Yeah.
So from Blanco, do you go Añejo next? Is that
Reposado.
Reposado.
So your Reposado is going to be anything from 3 months up to 12 months or
Okay.
a year. And then your Añejo is going to carry on from 1 year plus. So like you might see, people say like, oh, this is an extra Añejo or
Yeah.
so on and so forth. But that kind of still falls into like that whole category where people say small batch bourbon,
Right.
for instance.
Yeah.
Small batch is not a technically defined term with
Yeah.
bourbon. It's just this distillery saying that's a small batch. So with an extra Añejo, they're saying this is extra aged past a year of what we would consider bottling for
But
our
nondescript,
Añejo.
non-defined. Yeah.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Now some of them will age state. You'll see some that'll be 4 year, 5 year, 6 year. There are some tequilas that really do go pretty far in depth with aging.
Do they go as high as bourbon?
I was going to say, what's probably the oldest aged tequila that you can recall? Like, I mean, just top of your head.
I think the oldest I've seen is 10 year.
Okay. What do you
Now
think?
you-
Trying to remember what brand it
What do you think's
was.
typical? Like months to like a year and a half or something? Like,
So most people usually do it just barely over a year.
Gotcha.
So it's like, hit a year, call it in Yeho, done day.
Okay.
Casa San Matthias, that's the one. So Casa San Matthias is a
Gesundheit,
10-year-old extra. Extra in Yeho, and that's probably the oldest age tequila that I've ever seen.
Nice.
But comes in, your nice little sun-shaped
I mean,
bottle.
when
it's called Resol, so it's
Yeah.
in an actual literal shape of a sun, with a smile.
No, that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to get that fucking smile in there. I've noticed like tequila bottles are the most
That's what I was going to
eclectic
say.
of bottles.
Yeah, but they're awesome. They got some
They are
really
awesome.
nice ones. Yeah.
But you don't see that in fucking anything else.
What's that
You don't-
one? What's that one? It's like white and blue, and it kind of like goes up.
Clase Azul.
That's
But
pretty awesome.
I've seen more than one brand that do the white and blue looks like a porcelain bottle.
I
There's
think it's like Mexican culture, right?
Comos.
Like that.
huh?
Comos.
Maybe.
So Comos is.
I just want to reiterate we have not done a tequila episode, so I don't know shit on this.
So Comos, it kind of comes in that type of shape, but it'll be it's one solid color, but at the base it'll have a line around.
Okay.
That's an off color.
Okay.
I think it actually might be white on all three.
Okay.
So they were actually the first tequila distillery to score a perfect 100 at the
No
San Diego Spirits
shit.
competition.
And then you brought this fucking piece of shit bottle and not that one. I
Hey.
mean,
Sometimes special.
I just feel like I need a drink of that though to appreciate the information.
well, hold on.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Shut
so
up,
like
Matt. Shut up, Matt.
you all, Andrew
He
is
says, pour the fucking shit.
you're one of the higher ups over at Liquor Barn, and they actually did the barrel pick for this. So this is actually special to you guys.
Yes. So essentially, with tequila picks, sometimes if it's if they're able to, they'll fly you down to Mexico, let you actually sample some barrels, try different tequilas, see which one you want to pick out.
Is that how this happened, or
No, not on this one. So
Okay.
more often than not, usually they have like an actual state rep that
Send
will
you like
be
a kit or something, or
Yes, so they'll have like several different samples that come from different barrels or blends.
they'll do that a lot of times in bourbon too. Like Knob
Right.
Creek does that. I've seen
Yeah.
those little boxes. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
And
He
as
did
well
mean
as
to
like
I did. I'd like
as
to
like with
interrupt.
tequila, they
Hold up.
They
I'm
do
good.
what they'll do like batch picks as
Okay.
well. So it's not necessarily always that with tequila you're going to get single barrel. It's a little more flexible with tequilas.
Okay.
So kind of like how Woodford does with barrel picks. Like
Yeah.
sometimes
Right.
like you go to most bourbon distilleries, you want to do a single barrel selection. You go to Woodford Reserve, you're doing at least 2 to 3 barrel blend.
okay,
Like, there's no such thing as a single
One
barrel
barrel.
Woodford product.
interesting. Yeah. Okay.
So even those like double barrel, the oaked, whatever, double oak picks, those are
Correct.
blended.
Yep.
Essentially. Okay.
Yeah, so
I actually
that's-
didn't know that.
That's just something like
You need to put that
Chris
little
Morris
star
and
above my
the,
head.
The more you know. Boop, 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 boop.
yeah, so like Chris Morris and the team
Yeah.
at Woodford do a great job with everything. Like
Oh, for sure.
that's just how he wants to do it. He doesn't want to put anything in the particular spectrum of single barrel distinctness. Like, and honestly,
It makes sense. I mean, there can be a lot of variation in that.
Yeah.
We've seen it. We've seen it many times
100%.
in bourbons.
And I mean, it's just like every single barrel pick I've gone on. At the end of the pick, what I always do is the same thing. I pour all of the
Blend that shit
glasses
up.
in one,
Cuvee.
blend it together, and 90% of the time, what is the best thing of the day? The blend.
Yeah, for sure.
there you
For
go.
sure. So when you think of tequila, Matt, what's the first thing? I mean, I know you've had more tequila than I have probably, but what comes to mind?
Well, the thing with tequila is we've done a lot of different alcohols, different liquors on this show, and I have a Pavlovian response to tequila, and it stems back from college days, and it
me
usually
too.
yeah it
Yeah.
usually involves doing shots,
Yeah, the
like
salt,
maybe
the lime,
yeah,
yeah.
standing on a bar, maybe like a girl and a belly button and shit like that. That's what I think it's
Selma
good.
Hayek in From Dusk Till Dawn, down her
get me
leg.
don't
Quentin
get me
Tarantino. He like has a foot fetish, and he wrote that scene that
And he-
he
yeah.
was in it. Like that's actually great job, Tarantino. You're watching. I know you're watching.
He
Great
inserted
job.
himself into that scene. How fucking awesome is that? Yeah, but yeah, that's maybe that's why we haven't done an episode on this yet because it's
Because
like
of Selma Hayek. Or
well
Quentin
because of my
Tarantino?
Pavlovian response. It's this
Oh.
and like Jägermeister are the two Pavlovian
Oh,
responses.
God.
It's
That's
like
got deer's-
Jaeger
that's got-
bomb.
yeah, exactly Jäger bombs. Jäger bombs.
real deer's blood in that shit.
Yeah,
now.
right. That's what I heard anyway. So, but the thing is, I don't dislike tequila. I like all different types of
The Creed from Jaeger.
Oh shit!
No
You got a
shit.
fucking
You got a fucking
tattoo? I love
tattoo?
that. I
Oh
love
my
that.
god! Hold on
I can't
a second.
read that, but
yeah,
I love
can't
it.
read it.
Yeah.
So recite that for us, because I can't.
Yeah, tell
What
us.
language is that?
I can't fucking
It's gonna be
remember.
German. It's gonna be German, right? It's German.
But
So you fucking had
literally the Creed around the outside.
So you got that shit tattooed on you, but you don't know what it
How
says.
old were you when you got that done?
26,
Okay.
27.
Okay.
That's
solid.
Okay,
That's
that's
solid.
That's when I worked at Paddy Wagon in Richmond.
Okay.
Oh, okay. You get a pass. You get a pass. That's
when I
fucking
think,
cool though.
when
That's
I think
cool.
tequila, though, I always think go back to Jose Cuervo. Like that's the good stuff, right? Montezuma was like
Right. The
lower
Montezuma's
stuff.
Revenge, yeah.
I remember the first time at one of the jobs I held in the past, one of my buddies, who was also manager with me, we were in Knoxville, Tennessee, and he's like, let's get some tequila. I'm like, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, whatever. He did twist my arm real hard. But he got the Herradura, however you fucking say it. I can't roll that R. But that was like, damn, this is really like, I can sip this. You know,
Yeah.
that was my first experience in the sipping tequila instead of salt,
Right.
lime, let's go.
Yeah.
I hold my nose,
You're
try not to
exactly
throw
right.
up,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but I'm excited to try this because it smells fantastic.
Well,
I mean,
you had
it's-
talked about the blue and white bottle, and we had talked about the blue and white bottle,
yeah.
like kind of the ceramic thing with like the floral pattern on
As
it.
the bell on top goes ding.
Maybe I don't
That's
know.
right.
Like
It does. Yeah,
my
yeah.
buddy had a birthday.
Literally, the huge part on top, that metal piece, when you
a
take
bell.
the plastic wrap off, if you hit it on the side on
Really?
top, it goes bing. It literally rings like a bell.
My buddy had a birthday, and somebody gave him that bottle for his birthday. This was like a month ago, and we
very
tried
cool.
it, and it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
It is good.
and it was.
I mean,
it was. A,
have
I mean, it
I
was a
said-
Have you
sipping-
tried this yet?
I haven't
Right.
yet, but it was
I
a
just
sipping
did.
tequila. It
Yeah,
was. It's the kind that
100%.
you don't have to shoot. You
Yep.
don't have. To, I mean, you could enjoy it by itself. We didn't need any ice or anything. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So
I
we
mean,
do.
There's some out there that do exist that it's just like, I guess the easiest way to say it is like this is what I always tell people when they come into the store. When it comes to bourbon, you've got 30% that's absolutely fucking awful.
That's
right.
fair.
You've got
Only
you know,
30%. Okay.
You've got 50% that's pretty good,
Sure.
and then your last 20% is fucking exceptional.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
With tequila and rum, both
Yeah,
alike,
You're right.
90% is awful.
yeah.
Interesting.
But the other 10% is
Mind-blowing.
absolutely goddamn excellent.
So before we go any further, I want to say this is different than anything I've ever had.
Oh yeah,
It's very.
it shocks
We'll talk
you,
about it in
doesn't
a minute, yeah. But I mean, you know, you look at our show and we've done a lot of like barrel proof stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What's the proof on this one?
Guess.
I don't even know. 80.
80.
I mean, it's smooth as
There's
silk.
very
But it's so
few
much flavor.
tequilas that actually
That's what's
go
going to ask you
above 80
next.
proof.
Yeah, but I mean, if you had 80 proof bourbon, what's the flavor notes? Smooth, vanilla.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best you're going
Maybe
to get.
some oak.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But this, I mean, I'm getting a shit ton of flavor, and
Yeah.
it's 80 proof. Like that's unheard of in the bourbon world.
And the flavors are not
No,
not even
No, no, no,
close
no,
to
no.
the tequila spectrum of
I agree.
flavors.
I agree.
Okay. What are the tequila
Well, let's
spectrums?
well, I was gonna say,
back
let's
up.
hear
So
from
what
y'all
do you
first.
getting on the? You want me started?
I haven't tried it yet.
So the nose.
I've been
for
waiting
me-
for you to finish fucking talking.
Thank you. Quit interrupting me, damn it! I don't interrupt you much.
Motherfucker.
So you know, on the nose, I mean, I get tequila. I mean, it just makes me think tequila.
Sweet agave.
I get that. Yeah, exactly. I get that every single time. But on the palate, I mean, it is layered up. It's almost like a warmth. You know how we talk about bourbon, that Kentucky hug or something,
Right.
I get a little bit of that just in the palate. Like it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's heroin. Maybe I'm drinking heroin. Like it's probably.
Did you fucking lace this bottle, Andrew?
Boom.
Because if you did, thank you, sir.
Addicted.
Boom, addicted.
So I don't know. I
That's
mean, it's
fentanyl, sir.
It's
I'm
actually
glad you
really
like
good.
it. Yeah.
I don't think I drink too much. But anyway, it's very. So I don't have descriptors for tequila, but I would say
I think that's what makes it tough for us, is because this is like
sure.
we haven't gone to
For
this
sure.
foray.
Okay.
Yeah.
Close your eyes. Take
Yeah.
a sip. Then talk about what you think.
I remember my 7th birthday. I had a dinosaur cake, but I wanted a Transformers cake. I was very upset.
They got me a pinata, but somehow I ended up getting the shit beat out of me with the stick.
It was Barbie. I wanted a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Oh, you meant when I'm drinking? What I'm thinking? I'm sorry.
So I'm wondering. I can't recall ever eating raw agave.
That's my first descriptor.
So I'm wondering.
I don't know what agave is.
Right,
But
exactly. So we've actually done. I think we tried like cactus candy once.
we did. We've also had what's the other one besides tequila? It's
mezcal. We've done mezcal. Yeah.
So all mezcals are tequilas,
Correct.
but not all tequilas are mezcals.
But mezcal, it's like the mezcal we had was like so much more like smoky and kind of like.
This is not smoky. This is oaky. There's some oakiness to it. There's depth, and honestly, I mean, I'm sounding like a noob, and I am in tequila, but I get a little bit of vanilla. I get a little bit of like almost. I mean, it's sweetness, but it's not like overly sweet American candy. It's like I don't know.
I get like
European.
I do get like
sweetness.
a sweet kind of
Like
like
a Dove
something
chocolate.
vegetal, like and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's some sort of like I feel like I'm trying to connect the dots between agave.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But like, what the fuck does agave taste like? Is this what it is?
Well,
I like
honestly, I would probably assume if you just bit straight into agave plant, it would be awful.
Probably really
I
bad.
think like
likely.
aloe, like just tasting that is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, anytime that I've talked to somebody who like, grew up in Mexico or anything like that, like they've always said, hey, you can always judge a really good tequila by the fact of if it has a little bit of sweetness.
Yeah.
But
It
just a
does.
little.
It does.
They're like, if it's overly sweet, then it goes a little too
I got
far.
it.
So
You
like,
know what this is? This tastes like a very well balanced margarita.
I could see that.
Like not like overly sweet, not like the sweet and sour mix, but like
I don't
the
think I'd
elements
want
from-
to. I don't want to mix this though. Like I want.
Oh, no.
This is maybe.
it's
and
already
I'm
ready
not
to
just-
go.
I appreciate
Ready
you
to
bringing
roll.
this for us,
Yeah.
but my thing is, this is probably the best sipping tequila I've had.
Yeah.
Like I
think
could
it's
sip on this and not have any
excellent.
regrets.
Yeah.
I don't want to mix it. I don't need anything else with it.
I'm not saying mix it. I'm saying the kind of feeling you get from drinking a margarita.
Like from
Yeah,
scratch.
it's like
Yeah, where
already
like they like
come up with
not the
incorporate.
cheese mix you pour
Right,
in there.
exactly.
I got you.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah,
you go to like
that's wine.
Yeah, you imagine like West Six or West Six Main Crafting. What was that bar that fucking closed down? They had the fucking amazing
West Main craft.
West Main Craft. I feel like you could get like a margarita from there, and they would make something that tasted just like this. But this is like a straight beverage. Does that make sense?
It does.
Like it's got a little bit of sweetness. It's super balanced, but you get like a little bit of feeling in your throat. The way Jason likes to get a little bit of feeling in his throat, and it's just like that's what you pay for. That's what you pay for.
How much? How much we paying?
If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So see, for me, like I get kind of like a sweet vanilla buttercream.
Oh, I can see that. I just don't have descriptors for this. Like I don't know.
I mean,
I get
exactly.
that.
Like
I get that too.
it's one of those things. Like if you don't, occasionally or at least,
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't even say regularly. Just occasionally, like
Yeah.
drink some tequilas, like where you actually sip on it. And same with rums, like trying to dig down and think about those descriptors, like,
Right.
especially on the spot, it gets hard.
I
Yeah.
always go back to I'm more familiar with beer than I am any other spirit, probably like descriptor wise.
Right.
And then I go back even to beer. It's like flavors I've had in my life, so it's something I've eaten. And then this
Yeah,
one though, I'm just
100%.
like, man, I don't know. I like it. The buttercream though. I'm
To
getting
you, it's
buttercream
just
now.
like creme brulee. Let's go.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's fantastic. Like
Yeah.
that's.
Really?
I think.
Really?
Wait a
I
minute,
mean,
wait a minute.
Creme brulee?
I think.
Okay.
What happened? What's
Okay. No. I mean,
That it's that
could-
that type
I
of
guess,
dessertish
yeah.
type thing that has like that little bit of
I don't,
sweetness.
I don't
but
know
it's
if
not
I don't know if
overly.
it's as rich as creme brulee like that.
No, I mean that,
but
and
it's-
that's
but
fair.
it's-
You
it's on the same-
you don't have like the
What's
chocolatey
that over
notes
there,
from it.
guys? I think your bottle. is missing. I'm not sure.
Oh, the
what
bottle's
happened,
missing
What
all
happened
of a
to your
sudden.
bottle? I don't know where it went.
so like I
Found my box. No,
I would
lost my
chalk
box
that
too.
I would chalk that up to just the naivete in coming into like a new spirit, because like if the layman, if you talk to them about
Yeah.
trying a bourbon, and then like you, Andrew,
Smooth is a first descriptor. For
exactly, but then you ask you're trying the same thing, and you're saying like, oh, I get like cinnamon and spice and cherry, and I get vanilla, and they're like, where the fuck are you getting all this shit? I get like, it burns my throat and it tastes like bourbon.
100%.
That's like
Yeah,
being
like-
a noob to this like medium, you know?
At the beginning, it's just like this tastes good, this doesn't.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
I remember the
Simple.
first time I
It's
tried like barrel strength. They're like, with bourbon guys, when I first was introduced to that, it's like, hey, try this, it's great. And I have it, and I'm like, okay, and I'm like coughing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
so much burn because I'm used to drinking 80 and 90 proof bourbon, and then I'm probably putting it on the rocks. Nothing against the rocks, but like it's cutting it more.
And now you're at like 132.
I'm 132s for wussies.
Let me get that 159
Where's
proof
that- where's
shit
that-
they
it's all
rolled
I
out
caught.
the back door at Heaven Hill. Let's go.
Yeah,
Where's
it's
that
got like 3 X's, like a skull and crossbones. Like, no, sir, this is not for human consumption.
Where's that Coy Hill, baby? Give me a Jack Daniels now. You all sponsor us, Jack Daniels. We're taking everything you send us. So barrel proof only.
Yeah.
But
this is fucking. I love this.
This is
I
really good.
enjoy
So-
this,
I mean, it really is one of the absolute best
Yeah.
tequilas I've ever had.
So have you had this brand before this pick? Like, have you had anything from them before?
Yeah, so actually, before I worked at Liquor Barn, I worked at Agave and Rye as
okay.
a bartender there.
Yeah.
And that, like, Maestro Dobel is the house tequila there. So every single, like, margarita or, cocktail that you get from there
Back to
that
margarita.
has tequila in it is Maestro Dobel. Like,
Really?
that's their main house tequila that they
Yeah.
utilize, which is a great tequila.
So when you look at prices of tequilas, so bottom shelf stuff, what do you think a bottle of this would cost for that house bourbon, not the single barrel picks, whatever?
So, I mean, for house, like, it would be expensive because tequila in itself as a category is expensive. So, like, you even go to a store and you look and see, like, the bottle of Montezuma, like, you're still looking at,
20. Oh, I was thinking 20.
Like $12
Shit,
fifth.
Okay.
Like, you're looking at, probably a $25 handle. Which
Okay, maybe that's what I was
you're
thinking.
thinking, like, because we automatically assume, like, tequila compared to vodka
Right.
on pricing. But then, like, you move up, the next category up into that, like, middle shelf
Patron.
area
Well,
of
that's still
tequila, at least for...
sorry, vodka.
Patron,
I'm way
Patron is not vodka.
Dude, give me all the Patron vodka you have.
Jason's like chugging tequila over here and be like,
Dude,
he's
I'm
like,
lost. I
vodka,
mean, I'll be honest
tequila.
with you. Like, I'm kind of like dizzy from this because I've never had. I would have never thought I'd had a tequila that I would enjoy like this.
I
Like,
mean,
would have
it
never
really
thought
is
that.
crazy.
And I'm not trying to
Like,
this is
I mean,
true.
it honestly is. Like, I tried this for the first time, and I...
So bottom shelf, $12 to $15 a fifth. What would
Yeah.
this cost you without this barrel pick, whatever, just off the shelf if you bought it?
I mean, I would assume it would even be as much, like, for a restaurant or something, like $30 a bottle.
Damn.
Like,
Okay.
that would just be my guess. Like, I don't know that for sure, especially when you're talking about, like, bulk purchasing
Right,
and,
right.
like, getting,
Yeah.
the maximum amount of
But in the
discounts
world
and
of like
stuff,
bourbon, high-end bourbon and high-end beer, that's not bad, right? Like it's cheap
No.
compared to that.
That's
That's
So
not
actually
exactly
for
well
tequila.
territory, but
Correct.
Yeah.
But people
when it
used to
comes
do
your
Buffalo
wells-
Trace well. I mean, compared to
Yeah,
whatever
but-
ancient age or something.
but they're not buying Buffalo Trace for
No,
$35 a bottle.
Yeah, but I mean, they're also not putting Buffalo Trace in their well.
Not
Nor were
anymore,
they.
'cause it doesn't help.
I mean,
Well-
they weren't then either. They were putting
Right.
KT.
Well, that's a good point.
Like Kentucky
Good point.
Tavern, still
Yeah.
Sazerac, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
Fireball
But
shot.
at the same point in time, your two most expensive wells are your tequila and your bourbon.
Really?
Yep.
I guess vodka's always
Your vodka's
right?
cheap.
Yeah.
Your gin's cheap. Your triple sec cheap. Like,
Interesting. Okay.
So,
So-
cost on this one. So this single barrel pick, is this single barrel or is it just a
yeah,
store pick?
As
you told us it's
know,
kind of blended, I guess,
like
historically.
Well, actually, no. Kind of looks a little bit complicated here.
It's at least a store pick. We know that.
Blended code
Okay.
8024 tax 700.
So what do you think?
Barrel number 6413.
That's a barrel. Single barrel.
That's
So
a barrel.
to me,
right? That's
that
a barrel.
sounds like just a barrel.
That sounds
So
like a
what
barrel.
would the cost? What's the cost on this one if you find it?
So this one is right at about $45.
Oh, that's a good buy. I mean for retail, right? If you can find that.
That's actually okay. That's in my mind. That's amazing. Like
I
this is
agree.
something
I
that
was thinking 80.
I would keep on hand. So like there's a lot of different products I will keep on hand at any given moment for when I want it. Like my go-to bourbon is Russell 10.
Yeah.
Grape jelly, KY jelly. Keep those on hand.
Yeah, well, I do the generic for KY jelly or whatever. But like
Tennessee
this is
jelly.
like for tequila, this is the kind of product I would love to have on hand all the time.
Oh, yeah.
At that price point, that's
Yeah.
fucking perfect. I feel like that's fucking perfect.
I agree.
But this is a barrel pick, so we're not going to see this again after it's gone from Liquor Barn.
I mean, there could always be something that's close,
Okay.
but yes, never
Okay.
something that's going to
This is actually like opened my mind to tequilas. Like it's probably the best. For me, it's the best tequila I've had.
I tried so
drinkable.
I like getting into and experiencing new alcohols, and
gonna
I
give
try
you
to get
more if you don't
into
mind.
I try to get into Jesus Christ, dude.
I don't know.
Okay, we're sitting here talking. This is Jason's fourth pour as we've been like
like 3.5 Porsche.
3.5. As we've been going over this, this is why he's calling. This is why he's calling Patron vodka. But I bought something, and it was a really decorative bottle. All right, and it was I think it was Reposado. It was a little yellow. And
Patron has a special editions, which are pretty cool.
This was something I had.
The Enlalique.
I don't know.
$5,000, $6,000 bottles.
Oh no! I've seen like the smaller ones. Yeah, no, we're not.
No,
in that
Jason's
range.
Jason's familiar with the anal leak, but that's not what this is.
No comment.
Yeah, but this one was like, okay, so the top of the bottle, maybe you know, Andrew, it had the cap, and maybe that more than one tequila does this. The cap had like. It was like a shot glass.
1800.
But it wasn't 1800. It was some like new like micro brand, off brand. But they had like
1801.
Relatively soon.
Yeah, it was like they had 6 different like brands, and you could turn it upside down, but it was like very like crystalline looking, the bottle and stuff like that. But I bought it, and they pushed. I got it from Total Wine. I'm sorry, but they pushed it really hard, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Fucking tasted like sweet garbage. Like I mean that like quite literally. It was sweet and it was gross.
Something Lotte?
I can go upstairs and get it, but I don't want to cut. So, but that was my introduction.
Tasted kind of like sweet tea,
but worse. Like it was like it was like cloying. You know,
like an awful sweet tea from the north.
Yes. Exactly. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. It was just too much, and like I think it was like $40 or $50. And I was like, fuck, if this is what I have to look forward to in tequila, like maybe I shouldn't venture into it. But then you brought this, and I'm really glad you did, because this is phenomenal. And this opens my mind to like new options. Like I
would agree. I just don't. I never thought I would think that highly of tequila. I mean, I'm fine with it. I've had better tequilas and bad tequila, but it's something different. I don't need anything else with this. I could just sip this.
Which he has been doing all night.
This is only my 17th pour.
See, like honestly, with this one, the craziest thing to me is like right in the middle. It's just like having a Werther's candy.
Yeah. It's a little
like it's just that.
See, you're fucking pulling this shit out, and I'm still like, oh, it's good.
I'm on the smooth. I'm still smooth.
Like I mean, at the same point in time, like it's just like the same way that all of us learned about. You know, when we drank our first barrel aged stouts or our first bourbons and stuff. Yeah. Like somebody else was sitting there and they were saying, "Well, I taste this," and you're like, "Oh, fucking hell." Yeah. That's what I taste. Yeah,
exactly.
You're right. Yeah. Like you directly relate
via osmosis. Like, it just absorbs into everybody.
Yeah, it's like you think about it, and you're like, yes, that I remember what that tastes like, and that does taste like this.
It's fucking cool.
I have a few friends I love drinking with for that reason. I always ask them to hold their comments until I can like process mine. Now with this one, I love hearing it though, but it's always eye opening when you hear that.
Well, I think this is fucking amazing. Maestro Dobel Diamante and Liquor Barn's Barrel Pick. Damn. Yeah, fucking retail, worth the price. No secondary, so it's definitely worth the price. No. I fucking buy this all day, every day.
I'm in.
Fucking thanks for bringing this, dude.
Yeah, thanks for giving me that bottle.
You need a full glass?